Hey Bears, happy Friday. We are continuing this week with our creepy tales with a story that is very popular, a book that's very popular. It's called Small Spaces by Catherine Arden. It is the first in a trilogy. I think there's three books, possibly four, but it's the first in a trilogy of very creepy tales. This is one of Mr. Huffman's very favorite books, and we had a virtual visit with the author a couple years ago. So you'll have to ask him if you want to learn more about the book. But it's about a girl named Ollie, and when she's the main character, and when she starts reading a very creepy tale about a specter named the Smiling Man, who will grant your deepest wish, but only for the highest price, she starts getting really absorbed in this novel and this old story. And then on the next day, when she goes on a field trip, she discovers even more sinister truths that are connected to this story that she's been reading. And on the way back from the field trip, when the bus breaks down and the teacher goes for help, the students are left with a very strange bus driver who warns them that something or someone is going to be coming for them. So that sends Ollie and two of her friends running from the bus when Ollie's watch tells her to run. The message comes across on her watch that she should run. And so she takes that to heart. She and her two friends run off the bus and into the woods and into even more scary adventures as the book goes on. So since the book starts with the reading of a book, I'm going to start at the point where Ollie finds this book in chapter 2. So she's on her way to her favorite swimming hole. It's the beginning of October and warm weather is going to be gone soon. And so she's headed off on her bike after school to the swimming hole. The road that ran beside the swimming hole looked like any other stretch of road. A person just driving by wouldn't know the swimming hole was there. But if you knew just where to look, you'd see a skinny dirt trail that went from the road to the water. Ollie walked her bike down the trail. The trees seemed to close in around her. Above was a white-railed bridge, and below the creek paused in its trip down the mountain. It spread out, grew deep, and quiet enough for swimming. There was a cliff for jumping and plenty of hiding places for one girl in her book. Ollie hurried. She was eager to go and read by the water and be alone. The trees ended suddenly, and Ollie was standing on the bank of a cheerful brown swimming hole. But to her surprise, someone was already there. A slender woman wearing jeans and flannel stood at the edge of the water. The woman was sobbing. Maybe Ollie's foot scuffed a rock because the woman jumped and whirled around. Ollie gulped. The woman was pretty, with amber honey hair, but she had circles under her eyes like purple thumbprints. Streaks of mascara had run down her face like she'd been crying for a while. "Hello," the woman said, trying to smile. "You surprised me." Her white-knuckled hands gripped a small, dark thing. "I didn't mean to scare you," Ollie said cautiously. "Why are you crying?" she wanted to ask, but it seemed impolite to ask that question of a grown-up, even if her face was streaked with the runoff from her tears. The woman didn't reply. She darted a glance to the rocky path by the creek, then back to the water, like she was looking out for something or someone. Ollie felt a chill creep down her spine. She said, "Are you okay?" "Of course." The woman tried to smile again. Fail. The wind rustled the leaves. Ollie glanced behind her. Nothing. "I'm fine," said the woman. She turned the dark thing over in her hands. Then she said, in a rush, "I just have to get rid of this. Put it in the water, and then—" The woman broke off. "Then what then?" The woman held the thing out over the water. Ollie saw that it was a small black book, the size of her spread out hand. Her reaction was pure reflex. "You can't throw away a book!" Ollie let go of her bike and jumped forward. Part of her wondered, why would you come here to throw a book in the creek? You could donate a book. There were donation boxes all over Evansburg. "I have to," snapped the woman, bringing Ollie up short. The woman went on, half to herself. "That's the bargain. Make the arrangements, then give the book to the water." She gave Ollie a pleading look. "I don't have a choice, you see." Ollie tried to drag the conversation out of Crazy Town. You can donate a book if you don't want it, she said firmly, or give it to someone. Don't just throw it in the creek. I have to, said the woman again. Have to drop a book in the creek? Before tomorrow, said the woman, almost to herself. She whispered, tomorrow's the day. Ollie was nearly within arm's reach now. The woman smelled sour, frightened. Ollie, completely bewildered, decided to ignore the stranger elements of the conversation. Later, she would wish she hadn't. If you don't want that book, I'll take it, said Ollie. I like books. The woman shook her head. He said water, upstream, where Leith Creek runs out of the mountain. I'm here. I'm doing it. She shrieked the last sentence as though someone besides Ollie were listening. Ollie had to stop herself from looking behind her again. Why? She asked. Little mouse feet crept up her spine. Who knows? The woman whispered. Just his game, maybe. He enjoys what he does, you know, and that is why he's always smiling. She smiled too, a joyless pumpkin-head grin. Ollie nearly yelped, but instead her hand darted up and she snatched the book. It felt fragile under her fingers, gritty with dust. Surprised at her own daring, Ollie hurriedly backed up. The woman's face turned red. Give that back! A glob of spit hit Ollie in the cheek. I don't think so, said Ollie. You don't want it anyway. She was backing toward her bike, half expecting the woman to fling herself forward. The woman was staring at Ollie as if really seeing her for the first time. Why? A horrified understanding dawned on her face that Ollie didn't understand. How old are you? Ollie was still backing toward her bike. 11, she answered by reflex. Almost there. 11, the woman breathed. 11. Of course, 11. Ollie couldn't tell if the woman was giggling or crying, maybe both. It's his kind of joke. She broke off, leaned forward to whisper. Listen to me, 11. I'm going to tell you one thing because I'm not a bad person. I just didn't have a choice. I'll give you some advice and you give me the book. She had her hands out, fingers crooked like claws. Ollie, poised on the edge of flight, said, Tell me what? The creek rushed and rippled, but the harsh sounds of the woman's breathing were louder than the water. Avoid large places at night, the woman said. Keep to small. Small? Ollie was torn between wanting to run and wanting to understand. That's it? Small, she shrieked the woman. Small spaces. Keep to small spaces or see what happens to you. Just see. She burst into wild laughter. The plastic witch sitting on the Brewster's porch laughed like that. Now give me that book. Her laughter turned into a whistling sob. Ollie heaved the Schwinn around and fled with it up the trail. The woman's footsteps scraped behind. Come back, she panted. Come back. Ollie was already on the main road, her leg thrown over the bike's saddle. She rode home as fast as she could, bent low over her handlebars, hair streaming in the wind, the book lying in her pocket like a secret. All right. So I can't wait to find out more about this sinister book and why the woman wanted it back so badly. So you can see the smiling man there on the cover. I think we have a couple copies of this book available. So if you and your friend don't want to be too scared, maybe you can read it together. So Small Spaces by Catherine Arden. It'll be down here on our First Chapter Friday display. And I hope you all have a good weekend. Bye-bye. And don't forget, our pumpkin contest is going on. So we've gotten some great entries. If you want to decorate a paper pumpkin, come down and grab one in the LMC. Bye-bye.